very touching to remember. And we also have, I'm introducing him to the public for the first time, our new Philippine Honorary Consul in Louisiana, Mr. Roberto Romero. He's here. He will make some remarks later. And I'd like to recognize Ms. Maria Rodriguez, the Community Relations Officer of the USCIS. Thank you. And I'll tip my hats off to Jerry Clarito, very instrumental in this. Okay, so without much further ado, and now we'd like to have Jim Israel come over and proceed with the program.
Thank you very much, sir. So for those of you who are new to this event, we are doing this every month, every third Wednesday of the month. And we welcome you, we open our doors to our Filipino community leaders and members who are interested to join us in discussing relevant topics. He's the representative or the head of the South Asian American Policy and Research Institute. And he's joined here also by Ms. Esther Wong. Ms. Esther Wong from American Services League. And finally, Mr. Inchu Choi from the Korean American Community Services. So they're our, what do they call this, kapitbahay. United States.
Deputy Consul General Romulo Victor M. Israel Jr. is introducing Dr. Thomas Shepak, Director of the Chicago District of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you. And Council General, thank you so much for the opportunity to present what we have tonight. As you mentioned, it was our distinct privilege that he was able to attend one of our naturalization ceremonies as a guest of honor. It was special for us, and it was special for those that were in attendance. Thank you. I'm going to create for you, but it's the right thing to do. And my grandparents actually immigrated from Italy, so the United States was built by immigrants. It's still being built by immigrants. One of the most fascinating facts, if you look into it, is that about 44 to 50% of all the businesses are opened by immigrants, and especially in Chicago. And if we did not have that capability, just think where we'd be today. I'm very fortunate that I had the opportunity to serve 26 plus years in the Army. So I also would be remiss not to say thank you for the sacrifice that your country did during World War II, because it was a team effort that led us to where we are today. So thank you for your sacrifice. Now the really bad news, though, when I said I have 26 years of service, is that means, well, how many years of immigration experience do you have? And I said, well, I've only been with this agency for a little over 3 years, but the good news is I have Maria Rodriguez, who is a wonderful immigration services officer, is an attorney by trade, and is our community relations officer, and she's going to be able to give us all the details as to how we go about doing our business. I just want to leave you with this. One of the best things about my job is this. I had a lot of people say, so you've got to come tonight. And I say, it's not part of my job, it's what I enjoy to do. Because if I did not have the community and the support, then we don't have a job to go to in the morning. And one of the best things that we can do is to provide information, is to provide the best possible service, and to be efficient in how we go about it. So again, I am deeply honored to be here to share this information with you. It's her to provide some additional information. Thank you.
So I was an officer with the asylum office as well as an immigration services officer. So I have experience in that area. And now I'm a community relations officer, and I'm going to lend my experience and knowledge to you. Now, basically, we had passed out some information about DACA. I'm going to touch upon that after the presentation. I'll open it up for some questions so that you understand DAPA, which is part of the President's executive action, will not actually roll out until February, around February 18th. So we can discuss that after the presentation. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Now, the USCIS Community Relations Department, we basically go out into the communities. There are a few CBOs here, community-based organizations that I've worked with or have gone to some of their USCIS, specifically the Chicago District Office. Now, after 9/11 occurred, Congress mandated a new Department of Homeland Security and basically united 22 you have the protection of the U.S. Embassy, and just that sense of pride and honor of being a United States citizen. I have been to many oath ceremonies, and I'm sure you saw this, you observed this. It is such an important moment in every person that takes that oath to become a citizen. And as an officer, that's always been one of the highlights for me to see that after I interviewed and have found the person eligible and have recommended them for citizenship, and have them complete the process and become full-fledged citizens. And you are a citizen in every sense of the word. You're no different from anybody who was born here as a U.S. citizen. We're all the same. Now, naturalization, becoming a citizen. You have to be 18 years old, and you have to have been here as a legal maintain continuous residence in the United States. That means you are living here in this country. Physical presence means you are physically here in this country. Residence in the district for at least 3 months prior to filing your application. So, for example, you move from Florida and you come to Chicago 6 months ago, and then you apply. You've been here for at least 3 months. So now, if you're here and you've been here less than 3 months, then you're not eligible to apply. The good moral character, you have to have been a person who have not been charged with federal offenses or found guilty of federal offense. There are many types of charges that can be used that can show that you do not have good moral character. So that's very important that you be a good citizen and maintain a good moral character. One of the requirements.
Maria, would it be possible if I was arrested and convicted of, say, driving while intoxicated, could I still naturalize? How would that work if I was?
If you,
I was not, by the way.
And this has happened. As an officer, I had cases like that come before me. And what we do is we look at the facts of the case. Everybody's unique. Everybody has a unique set of facts and circumstances. And as officers, we look at the whole picture, at all the details to make a determination. If you have a DUI, it's dismissed. It's not going to be held against you. Okay? It may go through a process of discretionary review by the management, by our team, and they would probably say not an issue. Okay? If, however, you're involved, let's say, in a DUI that caused the death of someone, that's a little bit of a different story. That could really affect your ability and would have an effect on your good moral character. So it depends on the situation. And every officer, at least I'm aware of, and I did this as an officer, we look at all the facts, because we're all unique. You can't, compare oranges and apples, just so you're aware of that. And of course, you gotta take the English test and the civic test, right? And the civic test involves you studying for 100 questions, and it all pertains to the United States history, government, the early history, who was the first president, who is Martin Luther King. So there's a variety of different questions that you would study for. And many of the CBOs offer citizenship classes. I know I went to one where they graduated at the Chinese American Service League, and you study. We also do provide online resources for people who are studying for naturalization examination. Everything's online. I'm also available if you have any questions regarding this. Libraries also have a immigration corner. They have materials that you can go to, get all the information that you need there. There are so many resources out there. Your first thing to do is to go online, and I'll give you that website at the end of the presentation. As we make it as easy and accessible for all of you, because we want to see you succeed. And by the way, if you do fail the first time, you still get one more chance. So, then with the English, it's a writing test, a reading test, and we only expect you to just pass one. Just read a sentence or write a sentence, and we just need one of each. And then we have to show an attachment to the Constitution, that you're willing to protect this country, that you're willing to obey the laws and be a good citizen. So attachment to the Constitution is what that means. And then of course you're going to pay $595 for the application and then $85 for the biometrics. If you do this, make sure you go to your biometrics appointment. It's so important to get your fingerprints taken. They'll take a picture of you, photo, by the way, being able to become a citizen or adjusting, and they'll promise you that if you pay them this much, you'll get your papers. You have to be aware. Be careful, because these people are basically interested in taking advantage of you. And this could happen with, now that we're going to be rolling out with the expanded DACA, and then in May, the DAPA, which deals with parents. You have to be careful because nothing has been prepared yet in terms of a form. There is no form yet. That's not going to happen until probably after February 18th. Since we were given 90 days after the executive order was signed. That was on November 20th. So 90 days is February 18th. So beware. Do not trust these people. And if you hear of other people saying this and believing this, please advise them. Don't believe them. If you want information, you want current information, true information, go to the website. As I said, I'll give that to you at the end of the the presentation. Now, bring back there. They are able to provide legal assistance in helping you to apply for these different applications and petitions. Now, customer service information. This is the number that you might want to write down if you ever have any information that you want.
One more question. Do you have a little pamphlet of all this? Because I want to
I wasn't able to carry too many things. So I brought some things with me that if you want to stop by, that leave it on the table there and you can pick up. I'm going to leave, if only you are interested, I can leave you my business card and contact me. And I can probably mail some of this to you. Or maybe you might want to look into some of this local community-based organizations. There's a site that you could go online. It's the BIA accreditation, the BIA. You can go Google it. I don't have the exact web address for that. BIA.
Board of Immigration Accreditation.
Board
Board of Immigration
and accreditation.
All right.
Yeah, if you Google it, you can get it from BI, you can get it too if it's BIQ. And they have a list of organizations that you can go to, and it's all by states as well, and it's broken down by alphabetical order. And there's also a list of EIA accredited representatives who are available at these organizations that can assist you.
All right.
They have our area of expertise, okay? We also, as officers, are keenly aware and look for any incidents of fraud. Fraud exists. People will file applications that they are not eligible for, and that's something that we are, we work on as well. Alrighty, so basically, that's pretty much the overall view, but I wanted to just go a little bit on DACA. With DACA, you have, I passed out, or I had someone pass out 2 different documents. And one of them is the original DACA, which was established back in, it was a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. And basically, this is the same kind of information that you would need, all the eligibility, everything that you need to become in order to get the request. No, this is not a pathway for citizenship. DACA is basically a means to remain in this country, have permission to work in this country if you're eligible, and it's for a period of 3 years now, since it's been expanded, but previously it was for 2 years. Now, you needed to be, there were certain criteria that you needed to have. You had to have arrived in this country before you were 16 years old. You had to have continuously resided in the United States since June 15, 2007. And that with the expansion has changed a bit. You have to have been under the age of 31. And again, the date would have changed with the executive action. And you would have to have entered without inspection or had your lawful immigration status expired. Either you were in school, you graduated, or you were in the military and received an honorable discharge. You have not been convicted of any felony, and I believe at least 3 misdemeanors, because the more misdemeanors you accumulate, it's basically showing that you have a disregard for the law, which then reflects on a good moral character. So keep that in mind. Okay. If you get a parking ticket, that's not an issue. I think we all get parking tickets in Chicago, so I know I've got it. And then, so basically, what I provided is how to get to that DACA request. Okay, you can go online for this information. I basically printed out in hard copy so that you can have something to review and look at. Now, as I said earlier, the expanded DACA is not going to roll out till the 18th. So we are somewhat limited in what information we can actually provide at this time because it has not been fully vetted or completed, okay? Because we're still in that 90-day process. But once we have that information, guess what? I can come back here and provide all the information you want, okay?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of other things that are that's affected by DACA as well. Okay? Now, as in the flyer that I provided, it does provide some information because it's basically what we have. We do have a website for this, and that you can go to get updated information on DACA. Okay? And basically, the website address is right on the flyer, so you can always go there and check to be sure if anything's been updated, any information that you might have. We've also have provided these flyers. I brought them in English, but we have them in various languages. We're slowly, getting them out there. I know we have it in Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese, Spanish
Because
so
the
far.
name's not there.
Hopefully, we'll get it out there. It's, 90 days, it's a lot to do in 90 days. Yes?
Is there a way you can issue some kind of, I really am very sensitive to all of this avoid scams, because we've been
Yes.
told that way back in November.
Yes.
Is there a way you can certify the NGOs and the community organizations that these
Through
are
the-
certified people who are offering to help you submit an application?
You go through,
Can we be certified in some way?
well, the BIA is one way of ensuring you.
Yeah, but we're not,
Are,
we don't want to be accredited. We just, for purposes of.
are you associated with a community organization?
Yes.
Is that community organization recognized? Is it a BIA
No,
recognized
it's
organization?
recognized by, EIR. Where do we get our tax exemptions? IRS.
Oh, the IRS.
We're recognized by the IRS. We're 501c3. But I'm asking about an innovation, an initiative where you certify the CBOs and the NGOs who are embedded in the community to assist. I mean, so we are not, we're gonna offer to help.
See, the best information I can give you to have you rest assured that these CBOs are credible and are not going to take advantage of you and take your money is to actually go to that website, the Bureau of Immigration and Accreditation, BIA. It has a list of all these organizations, and I would say most of the organizations have gone through that route to be recognized by this bureau. And so basically, if we look at the BIA accreditation process, which we're involved in, we look at whether the organization meets the criteria of that accreditation.
Can I ask if you have accredited the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugees?
ISA?
Yes?
Yeah,
And
ISA
there
is
are
recognized.
Okay, there are 130 member organizations to ISA. Are all those now recognized?
I honestly don't believe so, but I
But
couldn't
Does
tell
not
you.
devolve upon those ones.
I know ISA is recognized, but I don't know about those others. I know some of them are, but I don't know that they all are. Yes.
Maybe request, or maybe allow, this Mayor Rodriguez, if the presentation is over, to have her seat so we can, then we can open the floor for questions.
Is there a limit to the age of the child?
Had to have arrived in this country at the time they were
Correct.
under age of 16.
Now, if this child is already an adult who was a high school graduate and has all the qualifications of the date present and has did not have a lawful status as of the June 15, 2012, are they qualified to apply?
Okay, you're giving me information that I can't, examine right now. If you follow the criteria, they have to have entered this country while they were under the age of 16. They have to have lived here continuously, right? And that would have been since.
We would be remiss to provide legal services in an open forum and lose my license.
Very good.
I would reiterate what
Winds may change.
Yes.
I'm not going to comment on policy, but you could imagine if you're a political party and you did that, it would send a difficult message.
As a matter of rule, sir, what is the prevailing rule of the immigration as far as that requirement of residency when they fill in their application? Is it a mandatory requirement that they put up a true residency, meaning to say not an adopted residency like the church, for example?
Okay,
You definitely have to put down where you are residing, because you're gonna need to provide proof that you've been living there, okay? And that could be utility bills, it could be a variety of different types of evidence to show that, yes, indeed, this is your residence and this is where you've been living for X amount of years.
Was it
So you-
always 2 years to base that?
2 years for what?
To be living together, being married or something like that, and they have 2 years to be together, and after the 2 years that, because my brother-in-law got jailed by a gulag.
Okay,
And they were just, yeah.
that's a separate issue, okay, we're still on DACA, you're going off, okay.
They give will be used against them. So, but we have a program to encourage applications for DACA, because it's a window that they can avail themselves of to legalize their stay in the United States for certain limited period of time. We believe that there are more who are qualified out there, but the overriding fear is always present, and that's the challenge that we have to overcome. Thank you.
In our community organizing. And by the way, I think half of the audience here are Afai related.
It's one family.
One family. That's the other value that we really appreciate, and we would like to share this in the community. Right? Thank you, Dr. Ashoka and Maria Rodriguez, and of course for the members of the Arab American, Asian American for DACA, Ami Gandhi from Sapri, and
Nigeria,
yeah, and Esther Wong from Kassel, and Angel Choi from the Korean community. So there's something happening in the community. We are all organizing. So we can actually reach out to people who will benefit. And one thing that's sure again, at least from our speakers, we should encourage our friends and relatives who are living under fear because of the uncertainty of this DACA or DAPA can be changed by the next president or so. But as Dr. Shabat said, it might be a mistake for whoever will change this executive action. So that's one thing that I would like to request from you, is to tell people that they should actually apply. And Onjan has said that the office, the Consulate General, is open to help DACA or the 3 months, right? And we are all open to. And Kari Mascareñas is our organizer.
Videography and reporting, this is Joseph Gilariosa of the journal Global Links in Chicago, Illinois.